Everyone, welcome back to Podcast The Sequel, where we discuss the good, the bad, and the continued. I'm Manira.
I'm Joseph.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Marissa.
And with it being the 30-year anniversary for the Swan Princess, we are going to be talking about the Swan Princess and the Swan Princess 2. But before we get to that, let's talk about, I forgot the name of the actual title for the Swan Princess 2.
The secret of...
Well, no.
There's two names.
Okay. Yeah,
there's two names.
There's two names. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Dude, you're not
It's like,
mentioning
what is it? It's like the Swan Princess
There's
and Escape.
the Escape from Castle Mountain. There's the Secret of
Escape from
Castle
what's this
Mountain.
fucking movie?
It's just so many things. Anyways, before we get into it, let's talk about the Swan Princess. But before we talk about the Swan Princess, let me give you a little history into the Swan Princess and why it's a significant movie.
Can you just say Swan Princess one more time?
Swan Princess.
Swan Princess.
So
Was it a swan?
Swan? Was it Princess?
So the director of Swan Princess, Richard Rich, him and Don Bluth, which you guys all should know, director for The Land Before Time, your favorite movie, American Tail, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Him and Richard Rich.
Whoa.
All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Oh, I thought you were putting American Tail, All Dogs Go to Heaven together. You said it so quickly. I was like, well, wait, do you think they're the same movie?
No.
Okay.
So,
no.
different movies. So Don Bluth and Richard Rich worked in Disney in the 1980s. They were considered the directors for the Renaissance era for animated movies in Disney. They were fired from Disney. I think one was fired, one quit Disney. So
I think Don Bluth left.
Don Bluth left. Richard Rich was fired from Disney because he almost destroyed the animated studios for Walt Disney with his movie, The Black Cauldron.
Great
which
movie.
I like The Black Cauldron, but it was considered a flop at Disney. So the final straw at Disney was he pitched the idea of the Swan Princess to Walt Disney Studios, and they're like, never mind, you're fired. So him and Don Bluth left. They created their own animated studio, and then he created the Swan Princess. After 12 drafts of writing the movie, it took him 2 years to come up with the concept of the Swan Princess. I feel like now all I'm doing is is your guys' impersonation.
You're Donald Trump.
Anyways, so 12 drafts, 2 years later, we have the Swan Princess, which came out in 1994. It is considered the last animated movie to be released in theaters with hand-drawn animation. Every other animated movie after the Swan Princess started using computer animation. So, it also launched the era of non-Disney princess movies. So you have like
That weren't under like the Disney tent.
That were not under the Disney title. So because of Swan Princess, you have like Anastasia. You have other princess movies I can't think of.
Barbie?
Animated movies.
Those are
Either way.
Is Atlantis a Disney animated movie?
Yes.
So then
Disney
Treasure
Atlantis.
Planet is also Disney?
Yes.
Also
Yes.
Disney.
Yep.
But was the one the AD
Anastasia is now under Disney
Anastasia.
Plus.
Anastasia is
one
now
they
under
did.
Disney. Yeah.
where like Matt Damon was the
Oh shit.
movie I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh.
That one's not Disney, but it was Disney dudes who made it.
What is it?
It's like something
Because it came out
it's
around the
something
same
AD.
time.
Yes.
Titan
Oh.
AE.
Titan AE.
Titan
Yeah.
AE, yeah. Which I think Don Bluth made Titan
He
AE.
might have, yeah. I think I remember.
Don
might have
Bluth
been-
has done a lot, and I know that he is very much still like active, and like I know he's actually like pretty friendly with like talking about all of his creations, and
Nice.
like even with like podcasters and YouTube creators, which is really awesome. Like he seems
That's
genuinely like
cool.
a great he seems generally like a really decent guy, very talented, has
This
a lot of
movie
great
wasn't
movies.
that cool.
He didn't do this movie.
He didn't do this movie.
Yeah, he
He
didn't
was-
do these movies.
Okay.
He helped.
He was
produce
just
this
friends
movie.
with the creator, his buddy Richie Rich.
Richie Rich did this movie.
Richard Richardson.
Rich Richardson. Richie Rich.
Rich. But that was my little history lesson for you guys and why it's a significant animated movie, which I know you guys all love. So
I'm sure we'll go down like the Don Bluth hole eventually, because I feel like
That seems like a better.
that's a huge name. Yeah, I was like Don Bluth is a huge name.
Makes,
like
one, makes sense why one was like, I'm out of here, another one got fired.
Oh yeah, no, Don.
yeah, it
Yeah,
makes
Don Bluth is like a titan for like.
I don't need this shit. I can do my own thing.
When we get into like all like American Tail, All Dogs Go. Yeah, All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Don Bluth is responsible for The Land Before Time.
Yeah,
I
all
know
the
you
Land
love
Before
The Land
Times,
Before
Troll
Time.
in Central Park.
Did he do We're Back?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe. Yeah,
That
I
movie
believe so.
kicked ass too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a bunch
Yeah.
of like animated movies that we all grew up with.
He's
and now
his
love.
creative, like he has
Yeah.
like a lot of different storylines and a lot of like
Wish you would
original
have been involved
stuff.
in this one.
He was indirectly involved.
I know.
Well,
but,
it was like his
yeah.
partner, buddy,
Yeah.
co-writer, but
But-
he had nothing to do with this movie.
He showed
Yeah.
it to him, and then he just went. Oh,
He was like,
yeah,
no.
Good job, buddy.
yeah,
I'm gonna put this right on the refrigerator.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Thank you for my macaroni frame. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Great job.
Joseph, do you want to hit
did
us
it.
with the budget for this movie?
You got your name on it.
The financials?
$21 million budget.
Damn.
And it made only $9.8 million in the box office. That was due to the re-release of The Lion King, which many people in the industry said Disney did that on purpose to sabotage this release of this film.
Which I have a little hot take for the second one because of that, but we'll get into it for the second one. But yeah, so it flopped because didn't Lion King come out like the year before that? Before 1993, right?
Yes.
Lion King?
Yeah.
And then they re-released it.
The following year.
They said it did that on purpose. Washington Post came out and said that they think this movie, The Swan Princess, is better than The Lion King.
How dare they?
That's
Wild.
from the Washington Post.
The Washington Post is not a credible news source, in my opinion. Now,
Yeah.
That's
After
wild.
saying that?
that's crazy.
That's
And
crazy.
then the New York Times said this movie was literally a rip-off of Beauty and the Beast.
It's a
It
rip-off
was.
of like a lot
It
of
was.
movies.
Yeah. They did rip off a lot of. So when I looked into it, music was ripped off, like the musical score and everything, which I know you mentioned while we were watching it. They did rip off a lot of Beauty and the Beast. Princess Aurora and Prince Derek were ripped off of.
Sleeping Beauty.
Odette and Derek were ripped off of Aurora and I think Prince Philip from Sleeping
Yeah,
Beauty.
Prince Philip.
So a lot of
Like
things.
the scene where they're dancing
Yeah.
in the hall.
They took
yeah.
a lot of things from Disney that were successful for Disney and put it in this one, and they're like, we're making it. And,
It's a thing.
it flopped.
This also had there's no cinema score for this one. I looked into it. There's none. But it has a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. That's
Yeah.
fair.
I mean, it was nominated for a Golden Globe.
For song.
Best song. It lost to The Lion King.
Of course.
Yeah.
It should.
Well,
Was
I mean,
Elton John. I mean,
Lion King was nominated 2 times. It was nominated in 1993 and in 1994 because they re-released it.
Interesting.
pick
I
up
didn't know you
another
could do
knob.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could do
re-releases
that.
could pick
So if
up.
they drop that shit today, it could technically be considered for an
how's
Oscar.
that
maybe.
work? I know
Yeah.
you can
They
just drop it
want-
again and be like, oh, you're going to nab you another nomination because
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
Can
don't
you
know
guess
if you
which
could-
Lion King song won?
Can you feel the love tonight?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean
I thought it was Circle of Life this whole time.
no.
Scoreboard.
banger from
Bing.
that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Elton
Yeah, Ellen.
killing it.
Elton's
Oh, he
killing it.
Nobody was going to beat him on that one. Like,
Yeah,
not
he,
here, like,
yeah,
come
he
on.
crushed it. I saw this movie in theaters.
I didn't.
Which is,
Were you even alive? Yeah,
No, I was
I,
not.
I think I was 4 when this came out. So, I feel like I remember enjoying this movie a lot as a kid.
This movie shaped my childhood.
That's a big statement. That's a big statement. This did not shape my childhood, but I do remember enjoying it a lot more than I think I enjoyed it. Obviously, now watching as an adult. I mean, it's not for adults. It's clearly for children. But I don't know. I just remember, like, there are certain songs that I remember that, like, obviously we'll get into the music, but I just feel like I remember this being a lot more enjoyable. But once again, child, like 4-year-old Marissa versus, 34-year-old Marissa.
I feel like that's an interesting thing we keep coming back to for a lot of these movies that we loved or like liked about as kids, and now that we're rewatching them as adults, we're kind of like, it's not sitting.
Some of them still hold up.
Some of them still hold up. So there's been some that we've been like,
But I will say, like, I watched, like, even, like, cartoons with, like, my nephews where, like, there's certain cartoons that they watch that I'll, like, watch with, because they'll be like, watch it with me, and I'll be like, yeah, sure, bud, like, and I'm watching, I'm like, this isn't bad, like, it's not terrible, like, obviously, like, we grew up with things like SpongeBob, which is, like, obviously still enjoyable. Is it enjoyable because it's nostalgic, or is it enjoyable because it's actually good
It's because
watching?
it's actually a good show.
Oh yeah, it's a great show. So I mean, like, but that's for argument's sake. Like, could you make a good kids movie that you can still enjoy today? And
That
I think we
holds up.
kind of like
Yes.
talked
Yeah.
about it with like maybe the Santa Claus kind of
Yeah.
like, because that's maybe for kids, maybe for adults. But I don't know. I feel like you could just appreciate it as an adult
Yeah.
of like, understanding like the wishful believability of a kid. So I'm not necessarily against like this movie so much. I just like, I have a lot of questions just from like
Yes.
my mindset, but like coming from like a child like kids are smart. I think that they would understand certain things, but at a certain level, like they're not going to think realistically like, how much did castle cost? Like they're not gonna think that stuff. Or like, oh, is there married? Like the line about like the taxes going higher in one of the songs. Like the kids aren't gonna know that. They're not gonna think that. So are we willing to bypass that? You know, as kids, obviously, and then as an adults, we're like, oh, that's a fair question. Yeah, are they gonna raise taxes? Like, are their kingdoms gonna come together? Is somebody gonna get, you know, like is Bill from accounting gonna get cut because
Is there
they're
going
two
to be a
kingdoms?
holiday because of this?
Oh yeah. It's like a whole new marriage.
Or they invited to the wedding, like stuff like that, or like
they treated it like they were all invited to this.
Oh, they
wedding.
did. Yeah.
The whole townspeople.
Well, I mean, if you think from the time period, I'm sorry. If you think from the time, I'm sorry. If you think of the time period, like a royal wedding was considered like an event, like a town event, like, and if you think about it too, like it would be an event because they're getting like all like a bunch of food for all the people coming. There's probably people coming from out of town.
The UK still does it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you'll need
Yeah.
you'll need new dresses, like flour. You're gonna need like horses that are like in shape. Like you're gonna need all these different things of like things for a wedding, right? So it gets the town involved.
Yeah.
So they're obviously excited because they're gonna need to pay for this stuff that they're providing. So I mean, like, why wouldn't the town be excited? Like, oh yeah, get married. Oh, do you want a baby? Oh, I have the baby. Yeah, of
Business is
course.
booming.
Yeah. So I wouldn't see why the town wouldn't be excited. Plus, like, I mean, it's exciting when people get married. It's an event. No?
Yeah.
An event for sure.
Yeah. But not like like a citywide event.
I mean, village.
But yes, then.
Yeah, then it would be. Like, I mean, what's going on back then?
Which-
It's not like they're getting, like, movies and stuff.
Doesn't even happen because she's like, you only love me because of my looks, and then she runs away, and then
That's true.
Oh, yeah, and they
Yeah.
spend all this time getting them together of, like, oh, yeah, we'll breed them from when they're, like, young, and then, like, they'll fall in love and whatever. And then this instant, she's like, well, you only like, he's like, oh, I'm into it. Like, let's do it. And she's just like, no, oh, that's it? You only like me for my looks? And then she's like, no, I'm good. And they're like, well, we tried. It's like, you spent how many years doing this? And because she's just like, no, you're not going to be like, oh, no, like, you're doing this.
yeah, get to know each other a little bit more. I don't know. We just wasted almost like
Yeah, it's
16
an
something
arranged-
years
yeah,
of trying to
it's-
get you together.
yeah.
Let's be
Like,
real, 13.
yes.
But even
Back then,
still,
yes.
but even still, like, we have all of these other, like, if you want to go with like the princess, like Disney princess or princess stories, like in those cases, like most of these people are falling in love in what, hours, days? And in this one, it actually would make sense that they would fall in love because they had
Years
their
of growing up
childhood,
together.
to grow up and learn about each other. That's why it's so stupid that he's just like, oh, what else is there? Your beauty, like that's it. That's all I care about.
And then like
you've been-
once she's the swan, then she's like, I love him too. And it's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like what reason
Then
does she have?
why-
He
then
he
what-
basically just said your looks are all that matter. So what
Now that
you
you're a
get-
swan.
you get a little bit older and like gray haired, and he's like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
You turn 25, I'm out of here.
Your big long neck bird.
Well, I mean, like, even, like, jump to, like, the end of the movie when he's, like, telling her that the reasons why he loves her, besides her beauty, the only other thing that he mentions is her courage. Is the only other thing that he ever attributes to why he loves her. Her beauty and courage.
I mean, like those are nice, but like, what else is there?
Beauty and courage. What more does Prince Derek need?
I mean,
well, apparently she needed more to be with him. She
which
wanted
like,
more.
well, and I feel like for the time frame that this came out, that's great. I love that for little girls because like in the early 90s, like, yeah, like you do deserve more than just like, oh, you have to be pretty, like you have to be all these things. Like he should like you for the way that
Yeah.
you like talk or other things that you bring to the table. So I think that that's a great message. I just feel like they didn't really like
They didn't land it the
Land,
way
yeah,
it's
the
supposed to.
plane,
Because
yeah.
as soon as she starts like singing how much she loves him, I'm just like, well, now,
Well, now you
if
just
she
gave
would have
in.
kept it going and fighting because she doesn't want to be a swan, and then when they're together at last, she'd ask him again, like, why?
Yeah, like can you
I
imagine
don't,
if like
yeah.
he went to go save her and she's like, well, I don't want to go with you because like what else? Like
Yeah,
what else?
you
is
can't
there?
just love me
What else?
outside of my looks. Then
Yeah,
this
what
is
else
never
is
going to
there?
work. And if
And
I
then
would have
he
figured
has to
that out,
prove to
yes,
her, yeah.
that would have been a better story.
Writing a
But-
better movie.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, and then there's also like it's a movie. If it was really that time, it would have been like, well, you're a woman. You know. I'm not saying it's
No,
right.
you're right.
I'm just saying that's
Not
how
saying it's right.
it would have
Sure.
been. Yeah, like, well, no, you are beautiful and you will take my seat. And that is it.
Your father handed you
God,
off. It
damn.
is what it is.
But it
Well,
is
yeah,
like
that's what
a
I'm saying. Yeah,
Disney-esque
arranged
movie.
marriage. They wouldn't just be like, well, we tried.
Yeah, no, they'd be like, well, yeah, well it's happening.
Too bad.
All right, this
Too
war
bad,
needs
sir.
to
Yeah,
end.
Because
and
immediately,
that's
like,
all-
the mom's like, we're going to have a big party. The mom, hear me out. But anyways, they have a whole party being like, we're going to bring other people in to get him married. And it's like, but why wouldn't you just keep working? If that was the case, they had other options.
Why wouldn't you?
Why
at
were
least
you so
express them?
set
Yeah.
on that being what it was going to be? And then once they're just like, well, that's it, and that's it. Like,
Because
it
it was
just, it's
supposed
very
to unite
frustrating.
the kingdoms.
I know that, but that
But we
clearly,
discussed how like if there was no mom or dad on either side, why didn't the
Oh,
king
yeah,
and the
that's
queen
right.
just
They
get
could've
get
together?
together. Yeah,
They
And
had
that
better
would've united
chemistry
it.
than
They did.
Oh
Two of
yeah,
them,
or
yeah.
Roberta
I
was
felt
very
it.
Queen
Because-
Roberta was a flirty lady.
they never
Little
mentioned her
hussy.
mom. They never mentioned his dad.
Yeah,
It's like
which we assume that the mom's dying in childbirth.
birth, yeah,
Like it's
the
never said.
Dad
but,
probably died in battle. I'm assuming, or something.
or just of
Something.
old age.
Yeah,
'cause,
but
I
like
mean-
there, they're lonely. Just boom, done. Story's over. Credits. Boom.
Yeah.
Turn to this one.
Well, yeah, especially once you get into like, I mean, we'll get into the second one, but like she's still the queen in the second one.
Yeah, so I'm like, if they're uniting the kingdoms, technically, he would be king and she would be his queen.
Yeah.
yeah,
it-
at
they
least
made
of
it seem-
her
yeah.
village count.
Yeah,
Kingdom,
they made it
whatever.
seem like no, they're waiting for the mom to
Yeah.
gracefully pass.
which
to then
also would not be a thing.
no.
Mm-hmm.
As
Her
soon as
living
there
to
was
50?
a male
I was
heir
like, her living to 50.
of
He would-
age,
yeah,
she would
Derek
step
would have
down.
taken
They
it
would
over.
they would become king and queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would be. What is it? What are they taught? What are they?
She would become queen consort
There
or
you go.
queen.
Jediah.
Yeah.
What is it? What do they say? Oh, no, not Jediah. What is it? What is it?
Some Game of Thrones bullshit.
Yeah, queen consort.
Dowager.
Oh no, you're
Dowager.
still a dowager princess.
Dowager queen.
Dowager.
No, is it? What is it? Because they talk. It's Game of Thrones.
Allison is known as queen consort. One consort once her son takes over.
Yeah, but once in Game of Thrones, once the kids get married, they call Cersei Dowager Queen.
I don't
They
fucking
do.
know.
Yeah.
I swear they do.
I don't know, but
Maybe
also
I'm
Game of
crazy.
Thrones is not necessarily history, but it
No,
does follow
absolutely.
that
I mean, a Swan Princess.
Allegory.
allegory.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Words.
Swan Princess for
I got you.
Thank you, Moon.
You're welcome. Since I
that
know we all
You're
love this.
I was
welcome.
talking about everything else but the movie. Like,
Yeah.
how do we get out?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's
How do we
not.
get out?
There's not. Oh,
Not a
never
lot of
mind.
meat in this bone right here. There's just
But
I feel like there is with the original like Swan Princess,
Mm-hmm.
like the ballet and everything like that, which like.
Is this based on that though? Did we
based on
decide
the
that?
ballet, yeah.
Loosely
loosely, yeah.
based.
Very loosely. It's based on the main premise: boy meets girl, girl turns swan.
Girl turns swan.
Girl turns
That
swan.
old trope.
Or what is it? It's like Swan. It's Swan Lake,
It's
right?
called Swan Lake,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like it's Swan Lake.
Girl turns swan. Boy finds swan. Swan turns
Boy
girl.
finds Swan.
Boy,
Boy marries Swan.
Boy forgets to
Bob's
pick Swan up
Swan.
from prom.
twist it. Bob.
Boy swan girl fall in love. Since I know we all love the soundtrack, boys, favorite song or worst song? of the
Worst
movie?
song? I
For the
hated.
first
I hated
one.
the villain song.
That was your worst song.
You hated Rothbard's song?
I just don't like the way he speaks. Like the delivery is just so like.
Which one? Which villain?
The first
The
one.
first
No,
one,
the first one.
Rothbard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his voice just annoyed the fuck out of me the
The
entire
like
time.
weird whisper.
Whispering, like, yeah, it just bugged me. I just was not a fan of it.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either. Now that you mention it, it was pretty terrible.
Our delivery. Yeah.
Marissa, what was your favorite?
Oh, it was like you said, boys.
I-
Is that
right
yours?
on.
That's yours
I
too.
agree,
We agree
and
with
Oh,
to add on to your point, I feel like the villain was a little less raspy Inspector Gadget villain.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah.
We're doing best song, favorite song,
I
worst
said
song.
best or worst.
Oh, okay.
I can't. We don't.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
have one.
They don't have a best.
I don't know. I feel like rewatching it, I appreciated the villain song a little bit more for some reason than I remember. Because I know he had a song, because obviously I've seen it before, but I don't remember it being as bad as maybe you guys like saw. Like this is the first time you guys saw it, right?
I made Joseph watch
Or
it.
you've seen it maybe before, but you
I
don't
didn't
really
remember
remember?
anything about it at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen it, remember, and know what happens, and all that stuff. So I don't remember the villain song being the worst song, but I do remember there is one song that always gets stuck in my head from this movie, and it's the No Fear song. And it's just so wildly put together. Like there's no like clear cut melody. Like it's just not. And they like try to force it so much. Like they bring it back in the second one and everything.
true.
And it's just like, I mean, I love the side characters. I think the side characters have more personality than our two mains, but like,
Yeah.
I just don't see why like certain people need certain songs in this, like especially like once you get down to like what is it, the Horsemen have a song, and then like the Princess is on Parade, I remember that song, which is very annoying too. So but I think that their main song, the what is it, Far Longer Than Forever, like that's a decent song. I could see why it got nominated for original song. It's not a bad song.
I just have a problem with the music because I feel like it's a little disjointed. Like Disney has a thing, and it all kind of fits.
Yeah.
And it gels together. And I feel like with Swan Princess songs, it kind of felt like a chorus line.
It felt like a ripoff.
Yeah, well, it did feel like a ripoff. Yeah.
Of like many things, like a chorus line, Beauty and the Beast.
Like Disney's like, yeah, we're good at what we do, and then he's like, well, I can do it better. Maybe I can't.
No.
Yeah, he just took all the ideas
like,
from Disney.
When
and
we were
just
leaving
mushed it.
after watching it yesterday, I was thinking kept humming the Beauty and the Beast tale as old as time.
Yeah.
That's
That
what I
was
mean.
just a banger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that was
like
a great
the
song.
ending, like the end credits and stuff were just like that little melody that was going. I'm like, it's the same fucking song almost, just a little different from like.
Angela Lansbury.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
By yours.
I actually really like the first song that they sing is My Idea.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I constantly sing
I
it
do.
to
Yeah,
Joseph.
I do like that song.
I
If I
have,
had to like a song, it would be that one.
I pretty much have that entire song memorized.
She was singing it while we were watching it.
It
I
was
was.
long
Oh
as
yeah,
shit.
it was. Very
It is
long
the longest
opening.
song in the
10-minute long
soundtrack.
song. It's crazy.
The opening is.
It's a 13-year long song.
Do you guys want to start us off with the rating since you guys love this movie?
2.
2 for Ryan.
Wow, solid.
Two.
All right.
Yeah, I'm at a 2 as well. Story's kind of messy. The main characters I really don't care for. The side characters were more interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
The music, there's just a lot of bad songs that are played. And there's certain animation spots that I like, but other than that, especially the ending, like the water. Yeah, it was weird. I don't know.
Choppy.
Yeah, it was choppy.
The animation. The
Animation.
animation was a little choppy on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, 2.
I think for this one, I feel like I just remember it being more enjoyable as a kid. I think we've talked about this a few times on the podcast of, going back and watching movies that you grew up with as a kid. And I really think that I could still see how some kids would I mean, not some kids. I could still see how kids would enjoy this movie, even if you showed it to them today. I mean, kids are smart, so they wouldn't necessarily like pick up on, like, they're smart, but they're not going to look for like the line where it says like something about like the taxes going up or whatever. They're not really going to see that. So I think for this one, I don't know. I feel like I'm also taking into consideration all the other movies that I'm getting ratings for. And as much as like, I know I gave Home Alone, the first one, a 5, I feel like that was like a little generous. I'm still going to keep it. I'm not going to retract my rating, but I feel like I should be a little bit more critical to certain movies. Cause if I put this at like a 2, like, and Home Alone at a 5, there's really like not much wiggle room, but also so much wiggle room. So I feel like I honestly kind of have to give this one like a 1.5 just because I don't know. I don't remember it. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I feel like a 3 would put it at like the level of like I still enjoy this from a day to day. I don't really see myself rewatching this like anytime soon. So I'm gonna say a 2, or I'm gonna say 1.5. I know it's kind of low, but
It's your opinion. You're allowed to.
I wouldn't put it higher than a 2, but I feel like 2 is just so generous. Even though I gave Home Alone a 5 out of 5, but
That was the second 5 out of 5 as well.
what was the first? What, mine?
Yes, your 5
Mm-hmm.
was the second perfect score to
Who
happen
gave
on
a
it.
5
I
out
gave
of
a
Mooney
5.
gave-
Joseph gave a 5 to movie
Sorry,
too.
yes, you gave a 5 to what is it, Aliens?
Yeah.
Alien.
So
Oh,
third,
Because I love that one. Yeah.
third.
What was your 5?
Hers
Shrek.
was Shrek.
Shrek is
Yeah.
love. Shrek is life.
That's right. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I almost feel like a little bit regrettable giving Home Alone a 5.
No, we're all
but-
gonna
Yeah,
have.
that's-
Eventually,
yeah.
I'm gonna give a 5.
Yeah.
I'm holding out
Mhm.
for that movie where I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Megalopolis is a 5.
Ugh.
Go down to the club.
Yeah, based off like the
Better movies,
rewatch, the
Adam.
rewatch value, I do like appreciate somewhat of a different movie, I guess, in a way. Like I know it ripped off a lot, and I think that's what keeps me from like giving it a 2 is like seeing the rip off of so many other movies, and then I don't know. I feel like Don Bluth really if he was part of it, I feel like it would have been would have been so much better.
But that's just our opinions. It didn't resonate with me. The songs weren't as good as they probably could have been. They felt kind of cheap. Everything kind of felt like half-assed, kind of cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they put a lot of effort into it, but
well, and I've also heard too that like if you watch like the VHS or I don't know if it came out on DVD at some point, but you can see like cutoffs from like like where the film is like at the top, like there's cutting like weird. That's what I've heard. Obviously we didn't see it, but yeah. So it just feels kind of like very poorly put together.
Cheapened.
Yeah. And there is something endearing about that of like low budge doing it yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
But it wasn't low budge.
Exactly.
That's
when your budget's $21
million.
$21 million.
Yeah, like if we put it together for like 21,000, I'd be like
21 mil.
Give it
a budget.
Yeah,
Like,
give
that's
it. Yeah,
one
I'm giving it.
like,
Terrifier didn't have fucking things in the
and they were killing people and like, well, this movie kills people too, but
yeah, 21's a wild number for it to look the way it looks and for the production to be the way it is. It's
the songs and
it's like where did the 21 million go to then?
The hair.
Yeah, the hair.
Yeah, the hair.
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. The hair wiggling constantly with every like movement.
Yeah,
they put a lot of effort into that.
That was 90% of the budget.
They drew everything, so I guess.
And I actually wish that they would have actually. Now that I'm thinking about it too, like when Odette says, "What else is there?" to Derek's like, "Oh, your beauty." Like there really isn't much to it. Like what is there to Odette? Like maybe he's right. Like well, what else is there about you?
Like her better as a swan.
Yeah, like you're beautiful. I need children. You're healthy. You're here. Like opportunistic moment.
Like me.
We've practically been raised together.
Yeah, we've been raised together.
Now.
Like they're about it. The kingdom's about it. Like what else is there? Like and back then, maybe they're like back in those times. Like, was there anything else?
How dare this woman speak? No.
Yeah, like, well, no, like, could she produce an heir? Okay, perfect. Put them together.
Yeah,
like, put them together. No, I'm not saying, no, I know. No, I agree.
No, it's accurate.
No, it's accurate.
What do you
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, you can bear children? Put them together.
That was a big thing.
Are you ugly? Doesn't matter.
Well, they bring up the taxes for a reason. It's a big plot thing.
Yeah,
it's the
huge,
good of the kingdom. It's not about like your feelings, really. It's for the good of each kingdom coming together for that moment.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, he only wants me for my looks. I'm out of here. Yeah. Now I'm a swan. Now I love you. Come back. Like.
But now I argue, like, is there more to Odette? Because we really don't get a lot of her personality.
No, and she only shows her courage when she's the swan, when she's trying to get out of that situation. But does
she? Because, like, she really, like, is kind of by herself, and she just kind of, like, weeps until, like, these other side characters, like the turtle and the frog and whatever,
which is why they're way more interesting.
Aid. Yeah, and they seem way more like... you want to follow them.
She doesn't really show her courage until the puffin was like, "Let's go find Derek."
Yeah, like no fear. Yeah.
The Irish puffin. You got too many things. Puffin.
The French frog, the Irish puffin, and then the sad emo
Stephen Wright turtle.
Yeah, just
speed.
Yeah. Speed. Anyway, what we really want is Mooney's rating on this movie.
Hell yeah.
5.
Better than Aliens.
It's spectacular. 5.5. The animation, the production. I don't know what these guys are talking about, but this movie is amazing.
All the Oscars.
Like I said before, this movie shaped my childhood for me. I grew up watching this movie. I know that there's so many Swan Princesses out there that Richard Rich has made. I've only seen the first 3, which are the only ones that came out in the 90s. This was my favorite animated movie as a child until Anastasia came out. And then Anastasia took over everything. I still watch Anastasia to this day, every single year, multiple times.
Phenomenal.
That was a great movie.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Swan Princess, I've rewatched a couple of times as an adult, not as much, but I find myself liking the songs of the soundtrack a lot more than the movie. 2 songs. There's just 2 songs that I like. Everything else is just garbage. I find this movie is very odd to me, but it has so much charm, and I think it's a lot to do with like the nostalgia of being a kid. It has so much charm to me that I enjoy it. I still enjoy it till this day. I'm very conflicted. I'm very conflicted. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
3 out of 5.
She was gonna do like a 4, and I was like,
no,
oh god.
No.
Oh,
I was deciding between a 3 or a 3.5. But I think 3 is good.
Wild.
Hey. Don't judge me for it. But now that we talked about Swan Princess, let's go into Swan Princess 2. Joseph,
Yes.
any financials you found for Swan
Oh yeah, I
Princess
could
2?
not find the budget for this fucking movie. I looked everywhere, so if anybody knows and you're watching, comment down below, please, because I could not
Double the
find
budget.
the budget. But it did have a limited theatrical run, and it made $273,000.
Holy fuck.
Wait.
Whoa.
Wait, what?
$273,000. That's all it made, and it's limited theatrical run.
Well, it's limited.
It went
Yes.
straight to VHS,
It
then
did.
it went into theaters.
I bet it played one day, maybe a weekend.
Yes, so
There's not much on the financials for it.
there's not a lot out there because it didn't really. The first one sold very well VHS wise. It was a big hit. The second one did not sell really as much, and I guess the promotion for it was non-existent. A lot of people didn't even know it was coming out. It just ended up just.
I feel like I didn't
appearing.
even realize that there was a second one until like later on in life when I saw like, I think that there were like 12 of them now.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize.
I didn't know that there was any of them. I'm not gonna lie. This wasn't really on my radar.
No,
ever.
Well, I also wonder too if that was like, because I feel like marketing in the 90s was very like clear cut, like boy versus girl. Like we had our easy bake oven, you had your creepy crawlers.
I
kind
love
of
Little
thing.
Mermaid. Is that like a girl movie?
I mean, it's like a Disney princess movie, so I feel like it wouldn't be like the toys would. I'm saying like the toys specifically wouldn't have been marketed to you. Like there were
Yeah,
no,
no,
like
that's
were there
true.
any Little Mermaid toys?
Maybe, but
Yes.
Not for
there might
boys.
have been like
Not
an
so much.
Eric
Well, I
doll
mean
or
like
something,
for
but-
boys, like specifically.
s-
Like, did you have Prince Eric's sword
I
or
remember
like
the
you know?
Disney store having the dog.
I could
from
see
Little Mermaid.
boys
But
That's
like,
about it. Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
see
Like,
boys
there's-
like not gravitating towards like a Sebastian plushie or
Did
Flounder
have
or
that.
King Triton something for boys. Like
I mean, no, I'm sure that there were. I'm just saying, like, there.
yeah, I
I'm
agree
sure
with
there,
you.
like, the marketing. I'm saying, like, marketing strategy wise, was probably more in place of like, oh, let's get like the tea set for like girls, and like we'll get like the tail so that girls can also be a mermaid, and like there was so many more toys that were that were
Yeah,
to
for
us.
girls, yeah.
Whereas like that's why like when we talked about Transformers. It was very much like, well, did you guys grow up with like the Transformer toys? Because I know like all of my friends who were boys when I was younger had like Transformers, Hot Wheels, like anything that was like masculine, and like G.I. Joe, like Army, you know, like anything that was very masculine, like like manly, like rub some dirt in it kind of stuff. And then anything girly was like, oh, here's a baby doll, here's a mermaid tail, like here's a tea set,
My
like
Little
a
Pony.
princess,
A
yeah.
dress or
It was
a
very like
tiara.
cutesy, pretty, dressy
Pink.
uppy, childbearing, child taken care of, like kitcheny, like it was very like women. What I'm saying, I'm
Said
serious.
childbearing.
Yeah, like you, like here's your baby doll. Here's how
Oh,
you
I
change
get
it.
what you're saying. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. I
No,
was
like not
we
like
just went to,
here's
what?
Barbie giving birth.
Yo.
No, I feel, actually they might have had a pregnant Barbie. I don't know. Did they? Have a
They
pregnant
did.
Barbie?
They did
have a
Yeah,
pregnant
okay,
Barbie, yeah.
yeah,
It
there
was
you
a
go.
thing.
That was a
It was
thing,
controversial.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
believe,
Yeah.
but-
So I mean, yes, but so I mean, I'm just saying, like, I feel like this wouldn't have been a movie that was necessarily marketed.
Well, I mean, it has like
you.
it on looking from the outside, it has adventure. It has like a wizard and like a knight, I guess. I don't know.
The first
Like, he
one,
does
they
sword
turned into,
stuff.
like, a monster beast, man. Beast
Yeah,
pig,
there's
man,
That
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
like trick where he snaps the sword as it's going, and he pulls back and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the arrow. Yeah,
I said sword arrow.
it's whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
a lot
it's
cooler if it was a sword.
I know, right? He shot the arrow.
barehanded.
Wow! She's like, oh shit.
I suck it.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, it just. I don't know. I never heard of it. It might be because of the marketing.
Well,
so.
when
Yeah.
she told us we were watching this movie, I was like, I've never registered in my head until I saw the frog and the turtle, and
Jean-Bob.
that's what got
Jean-Bob.
me, because I'm like, yeah, because that's probably the only interesting thing I took from this movie was them.
yeah, they're
Well,
pretty-
even I told you guys like this was the last movie I saw in like my neighborhood theater, and then right after they showed this, like not saying because it shut down because of this, but it actually
bankrupted
it literally
them.
shut down. Well, yeah, like this didn't show in like the big town like Edwards Theater. Like this was shown in like the small town theater of like
Two screens,
Yeah,
like, yeah.
it only showed in two theater. I think it was like theater 7 on the left all the way down. Like it was in the same like theater that they showed what was that one with Macaulay Culkin where he's like reading the books?
Oh,
Page Master.
Page Master. same.
Yes.
Same.
Love that movie.
kicked ass,
Yeah,
too.
same.
Love that movie.
Yeah, doesn't have a sequel though.
I know. I wish it did.
But
We
anyway,
might just talk about it anyway.
A lot cooler if it did. All right.
So as much as I love the first one, the second one doesn't hit the same as an adult. I remember liking it as a kid, but as an adult, I have so many questions. Like, how can they now all of a sudden understand the animals that I did not remember until we rewatched it? And I was like, wait, Derek didn't understand any of these animals, but he understands them now. I understand Odette because
it makes sense because she was an animal.
was an animal,
and
yeah.
it makes sense that
Yeah.
would even transfer over to her. Like, oh, this is just a thing of your.
Yeah.
but it's not just like
Derek
Derek
and,
will
like-
understand. It's everyone understands them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just very confused. I feel like I understand this is like it takes place a year later, but there's just so many plot things missing, and I understand this is only like an hour and some minutes long. That I'm
feel
just
like
like I there's so many questions, and I was just like I don't understand what's happening. I could go if you take the rest of the Swan Princess movies out of here. I would just rewatch the first one over.
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh, yeah,
over
yeah.
and over
Okay.
again.
I would too. I feel like it falls into that sort of thing where sequels sometimes certain cast members don't come back, and it loses that spark
Yeah.
because people bring a certain je ne sais quoi or whatever you want to call it, but they bring that zazz.
They
and
do.
This did not have it. It felt like an hour-long Care Bear episode.
Yes.
Yes.
Or
What was the one? The is it Gummy Bears? The Disney. It was just
Oh, the
very much-
Adventures of Gummy Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the theme song always.
Yeah,
gets
the
like
whole
that.
time I was watching this, I was just waiting for a commercial and then like just toys. Like that's what
Yeah,
I was just waiting for
commercial
every
break,
single
yeah.
time. Just be like, all right, commercial time. But like,
Hot Wheels coming to you. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese, get your tokens.
the new toy coming to Burger King this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean I'm very conflicted with the rest of the Swan Princess movies. I don't really know I don't know how far they can take this story. And I read an interview with the director on the 25th anniversary when this movie came out 5 years ago. He said that he would come back and make more Swan Princess movies.
don't.
If he's like, he
Please.
will keep making them. As many ideas as he comes for it, he will keep making it.
No.
The last one came out last year.
I feel like I
No.
feel like what they should have done is made the sequel. If the sequel didn't hit, obviously like it did, they should have at least if they wanted to continue it, put it on Disney or anything else,
Series.
make it a
Yeah.
series of just like, because that's what I feel like it would have really popped off had they made it like a 30-minute, which like with commercials, 20-minute
Cartoon
like,
series.
cartoon series
Yeah.
where it's like Odette on adventures with her pals, and like that could have really popped off for them.
She could somehow turn back into a swan, but turn back at the
Yeah,
same time.
like she has like a
Yeah, they go on
power,
these
like and
wild
especially with the
adventures.
second one, like
Yeah.
because they turned her back into a swan, like she has that
that
capability
should just be
now.
something that she can do now, and just
Exactly.
turn into a series. I think it would have popped off better
agree.
than
Absolutely, yeah.
multiple feature films. Like, no, that's
Yeah.
12 is insane.
That fits right in that block of like Dragon Tales and
Yep,
Yep,
and
yep, yep.
Inspector Gadget cartoon
Yep.
block, whatever.
Yeah.
It probably would have
Gummy
been
bears.
way more successful.
Yeah, or Gummy Bears.
I think it would have
Yes,
also fit
Gummy
in
Bears.
because like Disney did all of their movies and turned them into
Aladdin.
cartoons like Aladdin, Hercules,
Goofy.
Goofy got his
movie
own
turned
TV
to a
show. Like
thing,
all
yeah.
of them had like TV shows that were relatively successful in the 90s that I also grew up watching. I love the movie. I'm gonna watch a TV show too.
Jungle Book, all
Yeah,
of
all of
them turned
them
into a
pretty much had
series.
them.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
the book did too.
I think that's
Damn,
what
I
this
didn't
one
know
was
that.
missing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they all did. Since we talked about our favorite or worst song in the first one, Ryan,
What's
Go
it
to
called
you.
again?
yes,
What's that movie called?
What's it called again?
That's what friends are for?
that's what friends are for.
Words of four.
That's what you do for a friend.
That's what you do for a friend.
for a friend.
I think
can't-
I think that's what we did for our friends here.
It was bad. It was bad. It's such a strange.
Oh.
I got it.
No,
I got
the
it.
lid's off. The lid's off, right?
It doesn't spill.
Oh damn!
Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's fancy.
Shout out to
Oh.
damn twice. Holy shit!
Sorry.
Okay.
You could definitely see that in the wide angle, but that's great.
The blend swan. Okay,
Yeah,
go for
that
it.
whatever that is, that we should get sponsored by them.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna say what it is until they do.
Mhm.
Well, what is it? That's what a friend does.
That's
whatever.
what you do for a friend.
That's what you do for a friend. Dog shit. I can't believe that made the final cut of the movie. Off key, the change,
It just
the
doesn't
key
sound right
change
at all.
was weird. They went from the frog like accordion to just like That it's a different singer doing it. It was wild. I couldn't believe it. It was weird. I'm very passionate about this. Not good.
The whole time.
Joseph.
Everything you just said times 2. It's off-putting. It's such a bad song. It doesn't fit. The melody sucks. I hated it. I really
wanted to
did.
leave the room. I was like,
It was so, and
I
it
got
was
things I
so.
gotta
It
do.
felt longer than it probably was. It was just so bad. I hated it.
3
Yeah.
choruses in it.
Dude, it kept going. That's
The
how I was
movie's
like,
only an hour.
I'm like, when
Yeah.
did she turn it to a swan again? Why is this long? Like, song is so fucking long.
Why is she still the Swan Princess?
Marissa.
Let me see. There's only like 4 songs.
There's only like 4 songs.
Only
Are
like
you gonna
4
go back for your No Fear recap?
Oh, jeez. The fact that they brought it back, like
sprinkled it
this
in.
was like, yeah, like this was a thing still, and like, oh, let's revise it, kind
What's
of
it
thing.
called too when they do that? It's like a motif or something like that.
Oh, I was like, I thought revise, revival.
Oh, yeah, reprise or something
like
reprise.
that.
Oh, reprise. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Jeez. I don't know. That's what you do for fun was pretty god awful.
It was so bad. It was on the
Oh,
worst.
the
Like,
You
they
Gotta-
were like, yeah.
I will say the You Gotta Love It, which is the bad guy song in this one. I thought it was better
Oh yeah.
than the last
Yes.
bad guy song. I'm not saying that it's like
It's not good, but it's
Oscar
better.
worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it's not like, don't give it a Grammy, don't give it any of that.
Maybe a Grammy.
But I want to give it at least somewhat. I feel like we have to give like some sort of praise to this somehow, and I feel like that's where I'm gonna
My praise
give it.
is that they did it. He went and he did
that he
it.
did a thing.
He did a
That's
thing.
okay.
Did it.
Commendable.
And that's
I love
okay.
it.
And I do thank you for bringing up that point, because I want to say, like, for as much as like we critique and like give praise on these movies, like, we're not making movies, so like
Exactly.
we're not like saying that we could do better. It's
We're doing
just,
a thing
yeah,
right now.
we're doing it very much. Well, yeah, and we're very much just like giving our own opinions.
Critique.
So like they don't mean any, like, well, they mean things to us and maybe our viewers, but like they're not deciding the Oscars or anything. So like our opinions and like what we bring up is just like it's all in good fun. It's not to be hurtful or anything.
Yeah, we're
It's just,
essentially a movie book club.
we're just coming we're coming for
I
the
love
show.
that
For example,
Yeah.
like the Rotten Tomatoes score for this one is only 45%. It's 5% less than
I
the
think
first
that you
one.
say only when like that's
No, but
failing.
it's only
I know,
5%
like-
less from.
On their, if you
On
want
their
to, I feel
grading.
like Rotten Tomatoes is kind of like,
I mean, I don't know
how much I trust it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how much I trust them.
I
but
don't.
50%, is that still failing for them?
Yes.
It's
No, I think it's
no,
like
it's
60 or
50
70.
is
I mean, on a
mid.
school grade level?
Underneath 50, it's failing.
Then it's like,
Oh,
don't go
okay.
see this
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Paddington Bear is still at 100%.
Yes.
Yes,
it's a
it
meme.
is.
Yeah.
I feel like we should we have to cover that.
Have you
movie in
guys
some
never
way.
seen Paddington?
I've never seen any of them.
either.
I know Hugh.
No, but it's only
Grant
a joke,
is in
and that's
it.
why it's still
That's
going
why it's a
on.
thing,
And
yeah.
I love
I
that
just
for
know.
that.
Yeah.
but
The
that like
comedian
Because that's that
super
niche.
bad.
It's what makes that movie what
Oh,
it
James
is now.
Gordon.
we're going on inside
Oh.
conversations
I
again.
Okay.
But yes,
I've seen the
But-
first one. I've never seen the others.
I heard the second one's bomb. Sorry,
But-
we're having like side conversations. I'm sorry, we're having, like, side
Everyone having
conversations.
side conversation.
but for that to like, I get that it's a meme and that's funny and I love it, but like,
It's just, we don't want to talk about this movie at all. That we're having side conversations of
I know.
other movies.
you can't bring up like, oh yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gives it a
No.
perfect score. That doesn't
It's-
mean shit. To
Well,
me
that's why I
anymore.
love the cinema score, because that's the audience's reaction.
Yes.
But there's
Yeah.
no cinema score for either
Can
of
I
these
just
fucking
okay?
films.
Can I just say from like a perspective of like I saw the first one in like theaters as a kid, grew up with it, like didn't mind it as a kid. Like I remember, like that's why I was like, oh, I'm cool rewatching this, like because I remember the first one being enjoyable. Like I never saw the second one. The first time I saw it, the second one was with you guys here today. I never saw the second
Oh, I
one.
thought you had seen it before.
No,
Okay.
I haven't. That's why.
I'm the only one
That
that
was
was
my-
blessed.
That's why I'm saying.
You're
Well,
the
yeah.
one
So
then,
that's
okay.
why I'm saying, like, as someone who, as a kid, enjoyed the first one, and now going back as an adult, rewatching it, not only another time, but seeing the sequel for the first time as an adult, like the entire time, especially within the first 10 minutes, it's just like us and myself being like, what? Like the pacing is crazy.
yes.
Like
Yeah.
we got so much information. There's so much action, which like great, like keep the attention going and the, like story going, I guess. But like they skip over like so much, and it's like so like, okay, this happened, and then we're going over here, and then oh no wait, there's a villain over here, but then like but she's got but the mother's birthday, but
And the
then but the
anniversary,
anniversary, and
yeah.
like there's so much going on that you don't even have time to like process. And if you don't have time to process this as an adult, I just scarcely see like kids being like, oh yeah, I love this story, oh go Derek, go do this. Like I can't see a kid like seeping all that in.
No, it's more like flashing images. Like I like the imagery
Yeah.
of it at that.
So that's
point.
why at that
Of
point
them
I'm just
sliding
like,
down
you know,
banisters
yeah, like are they
and
really
the
giving?
ball.
Yeah, like are they really giving?
Throwing a wolf
No.
in there at one scene, just to be like, "Bah,
You know, oh, scary wolf!
fighting a
Oh,
wolf."
fire! Okay,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah, so I just have to put that out there. I was gonna say I know Mooney's still got to talk about her song, but I just like I just
Oh, yeah,
wanted
shit,
I wanted to
sorry.
I just wanted to put that out there because I know
Tell we're
I
going
won't
on
know
tangents.
because
Just
well,
trying
yeah,
to avoid
no,
it.
yeah,
That's
we'll
bad.
go on.
Shit.
That's how we're trying. We're going like different avenues to be
Yeah.
like, we're
I am
going
so
so
sorry.
away from it.
No, you're
This
fine,
is what
you're
this
fine, you're
movie
fine.
did
That's
to
what this
us.
movie did.
Yeah,
That's
it
why
did to
this
us.
is I think that speaks volumes to the film.
It does. I feel like there isn't really a song that I like in this movie. I feel like with Odette's song, like The Magic of Love or whatever the hell it was called,
The
I feel
Power
like
of
It was
Love.
fine.
yeah, I feel like they were trying to recreate how
Do it.
good Far Longer Than Forever was. Like I think they were trying to create like another
Yeah.
love song ballad, hoping it got nominated like the other one did. It just missed the mark for me completely. If I had to pick a song, it would probably be that one because I hated everything else. But I don't have anything else about this movie. Does anyone else have
Oh,
anything?
I have so much.
I just have like questions for everything.
No, I would. I mostly have just like I would love to talk about like how much of a dick Derek is. He's a terrible son, terrible husband. Like I know, like once again, I know it doesn't matter to kids, but like
But is he?
he forgets the anniversary. It's only the 1 year anniversary. He's forgetting the mom's birthday. Like, is he really a good king? Is he really a good ruler? Like, I know he cares
Is
about
he a king?
saving.
That's the thing.
He's just a
Or prince, yeah, he's
That's
a
the other
prince,
thing.
whatever,
Makes
yeah.
no sense, but like,
Yeah, no, we get that, but like he's just like it doesn't seem like he's a good person. Like, does she really care about him? And like, what is she doing all day? Like, there's so many questions.
dressing like a poor woman, helping the villagers.
Well, no, like okay, no, but I
No,
feel
she's
like
good for
that's
her.
great. Yeah, that's great. Like a queen, princess, whatever. Like they should care about their kingdom that they're ruling. But like as far as Derek goes, like he's so much involved with like. No, but I must protect Odette. What about Odette? I gotta love Odette. But then he's not really proving that he loves her by forgetting their anniversary. Like he gives two shits about the mom when like the mom's like, and the mom, I'm like, why is the mom's birthday a plot point in this movie?
it should not have been.
Like, why is getting her captured part of like the thing? And like the
Maybe they
bad,
needed
like
filler time.
yeah, and the bad guy's connection to the bad guy from the original was very like loosely like.
We talked about when we were watching if the movie would have started with backstory going back to why they wanted what
Yeah.
they wanted and why they didn't succeed, and now he's like, I'm gonna get it back, I'll avenge you, whatever, or you
Yeah, if
fail.
they were like brothers or
Yes.
something.
But
Yeah.
no, they just show you him. He's like, I want this, and then you never know why he wants it. He just wants it for his power.
Yeah.
But
What is
like,
what are the forbidden arts?
Yeah, it just they're
They're forbidden.
And like,
even know
why are
that.
they in a glass orb? Why are they
It's the
like?
source of the dark.
Like I
arts, or
don't.
the-
Yeah, I
the
just.
and it was just chilling.
Forbidden arts.
Forbidden arts.
Forbidden
It
arts,
was
yeah,
just chilling
forbidden
under the
arts, yeah.
castle for all that time.
Yeah, and they're just there. Like
That's
nobody
the
knew.
secret.
And she knew though. The other girl,
Well, she was the
Beatrice?
yeah.
other. She was the other
Beatrice?
guy's helper.
helper,
Was it Beatrice?
Oh,
But, like, you
Bridget,
would think that
Bridget.
she'd be like,
Bridget, yeah.
I know where it is.
By the way, princess, there's a magical power.
Yeah,
underneath
that's
the
what he's
castle.
after. Well, yeah, and then why didn't and he didn't want to tell Odette that all this was going on because he didn't want to worry her. Like, bitch, you're a princess, soon to be queen. Like, you're gonna have to worry about this stuff that's coming to get you.
And like,
Why is that room even in the castle?
nobody
Why
went
wouldn't it
down
be in
there
his
to be
own
like, hey,
place?
can we get rid of all this stuff? Like, we
but
kicked them out.
Turn this
already.
into storage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how come
what
nobody
the
like
shit?
no
Why
guards
is there a
hiding?
giant
Yeah.
portrait of the guy we beat in the first one underneath
Still
the castle?
outside.
Yeah.
You can see it from the outside.
Yeah, I'm like,
Why is nobody guarding this? Like,
So many questions.
there's so many questions.
I
Why
think-
did Bridget speak the way that she did? Like,
him not
Grab
celebrating
orb.
his mom's 50th birthday. He was like, I found the footprint. It's a clue.
and they like cut it out of the cement and like lifted it up. Like,
Bigfoot.
yeah, like oh, got the zones.
But like, she's like, get that weight. It's just like, no, I can't wait. I have to
Yeah.
protect the kingdom.
I
It's
think
like,
with this movie, you just kind of have to throw logic out of the window.
Well, I mean, yes, as in
Yes,
any kids, yeah,
absolutely.
in any kids and movies, you know, you.
Yeah.
Some of them make sense. This one just.
That hot air
just-
balloon's kind of wild though for like a villain.
Oh yeah, why was the air balloon with a clown in it? Like, it's
That
just
clown's
so
terrifying.
wild.
It was terrifying.
That comes-
Would you get in that? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Oh, it's your 50th birthday, Ryan. Come get in this hot air. No, I'm good.
Nah.
I'm good. Get out of here.
Well, that and she's like, Derek obviously got this for me. Like, why? Why?
Because it says "Happy Birthday, Mom."
Yeah.
I would have loved. I did like the callback though to like one of the cards that she got, where she's just like, "Oh, there's that douche that said I was turning 50 like throw some tomatoes on him, and like, oh, I would have loved that for her, but that was the only scene where I was like, yeah, Mom, go get him. But other than that, I was just like, nobody cares,
Gives
man.
a
Like,
fuck about your 15.
well, like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I wanted Derek to care because like it's your mom, bro. But like at the same time, like, why is this a plot point? Like, why is she a main character?
Because she's the queen.
But why is she a main character?
The princess and the
Why?
prince.
Like, why? It should have been just more about like he's coming back to get Derek for whatever reason. Like, you killed my brother, like, so now I'm gonna come after you and like avenge his death and like, I don't know, do what he did. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot going on.
Anyway, I don't want to. Yeah.
Anyone have anything else?
Do you?
No.
Yeah, I thought you would have had way more.
I really don't like this movie.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I just
Why are we doing this?
I like the first one. It's just so many questions. So many questions. I know I didn't watch any of the others after the third one, but looking into the rest of like the titles and everything, there are movies that fall in between certain ones. So there's technically 2 or 3 movies that fall in between 1 and 2. So maybe it explains some of our questions.
There's a Christmas movie in between there.
Yes, there's a Christmas one.
You mean like Beauty and the Beast?
Yes. Oh, I know one thing I wanted to bring up. I swear this is the last one. And you know how you mentioned it, Lion King was re-released?
I mentioned nothing.
You know the scene where he like looks over what Derek and henchman do when he's like hanging on?
Yeah. Oh,
it
the
scar thing.
It reminded me very much of Lion King, so I was like, did they put this in because Lion King kind of like screwed them out of money because
Maybe.
they re-released
It's not
it?
like it did
I just
anything
in
for
my
them.
head I was like, oh, this is like very Lion King.
Well, that's why I said when he dropped him, like, long live the
Live
king.
brother.
Yeah, and I was like, right.
Especially when like they cut away and just hear Derek scream. I was like, oh, he did.
Yeah.
He's gone.
As soon as he fell, I was like, ah! I was like, oh shit!
That would have made the
Would've been a
movie
way
so
better
much
movie.
interesting.
We're added like a new little wrinkle too, where I'm like, all right, there's
I'll
actually
see
stakes
you.
to this, not them just getting out of every trap.
Yeah,
Oh,
just grabbing handfuls of arrows at a time. Fucking asshole.
Yeah. So many questions.
just fucking
I have
Bob.
so many. I have
Yeah.
so many questions.
So many.
Shall we?
Yeah, you guys
review
want to
this
go
bad
into your
boy?
reviews?
Yeah. Do you?
Ryan,
Yeah.
And like at one.
1. Okay. Joseph,
I'm at a 1. The characters are even more annoying. Not as interesting. Side characters are just there. So yeah. 1.
I would like to.
Marissa?
Can I rate this like out of 5 and just put above the 5 poppies? This isn't my idea of fun.
but it's my idea of fun.
That can be your rating.
That
Mine
could be
is
on the
not.
side. It could just be in words.
Yeah, this is not my idea of fun. Just over the 5 poppies. I'm actually gonna even go low. I'm gonna give it a like 0.5. Like, it's just not good. It's just, I have so many questions. There was so much happening. Like, if I was wasted, like, maybe just because I had fun watching it with you guys, but I'm just thinking in the solitary confinement of like me, myself, and I are watching this movie. Like, I'm just like looking everywhere else. I'm looking at my phone. I'm looking at like my water. I'm like looking at my 3rd bottle of wine, trying to think like, God, do I really want to like in oblivion kind of thing? It's just not, it's not good. Like, the first one I can get past, but the second one's just insulting to everybody.
It's over an hour long TV cartoon episode.
Yeah, if it would have been shortened down into one, yeah, like maybe I could get past it, but it's just not good.
Maybe it's because they're like, oh, it's straight to video, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna put it in theaters, and he's like, oh, well, it wasn't supposed to. Okay, whatever.
Well, that, and I always
don't
thought
know.
that like in order to get it in a theatrical release, it had to be a certain amount of time. Like, that's why all these movies are usually like an hour and a half, if
There's
not
short
longer.
films that premiere places.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily considered a short film.
I
This
understand.
was also the 90s. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
different.
So I mean, it might be different, but anyway,
Should
yeah,
probably look into those things in the future.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I think there's short films because there's like mini series, like like what's the difference between a series, a mini series, a limited time series, no,
I feel like 2 of those are the same thing.
Yeah.
like,
I'm
nope.
just gonna go out on a limb and say 2 of those.
I mean, yes, probably,
At
but
least
like
2 of the
Video,
things
yeah.
you said were probably the
yeah,
same.
like a mini series or limited series kind of thing,
it's
or
probably the
probably
same.
are probably similar things. Yeah. So, but anyway, I had 0.5. This is not my idea of fun.
As much as I like the first one, I didn't really enjoy this one bit. I am just gonna give this one a 1 out of 5. I have nothing else to say about it. Just
It's
why?
terrible. It's terrible.
Anyone have anything else?
No, I'm just glad we.
I know this was Joseph's idea of fun.
We
and
survived.
We
Ryan's.
survived
I'd
it.
say-
We watched it. We witnessed it.
John,
we seen
please.
it.
We think more of you than this.
I feel like he probably like recorded that in his closet and then just mailed it in.
That or they had him under some like contract of like, we'll
Yeah.
give you this movie.
Well, you
but
got to come in.
Yeah,
and
you got to
he
do this
did.
one.
You gotta
I
do
bet
this.
if I look up the trivia, which I didn't, my mistake.
There's not much out there.
I'm sure it's like John Cleese did all his lines in 12 hours.
Yeah, something like that.
Fuck out of there.
Just
Like, I'm out.
garbage. We don't recommend.
No, yeah, but
I feel like there could be a fun game, like a drinking game maybe made out of it. I don't know. I tried to like think about a positive. I don't know.
I mean, the first one was.
How many
decent.
times they say no fear, you take a shot. I don't know.
You'd be.
Singing
It's a lot-
off key.
It's a lot of no drinking until like the end of the movie, man.
Yeah.
and then you're just bah, 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 bah.
6 shots in a row.
How many times the mom mentions her birthday?
every time Derek touches
Done.
an arrow, because I want to get
Oh, yeah.
plastered by.
That's true.
by the men.
Every
Now
time
we're
the
on to
frog
something
mentions
more.
something about being a
The
prince.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Drinky game.
Yeah.
With that being said, I think that is it for us this time.
God.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know if you guys love or hate the Swan Princess 12 movie. It's not a trilogy. It's whatever 12 eulogies are at this point.
The eulogies.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
I hope. Fuck.
Just remember,
Oh,
this
don't
is
hate
my
it.
That
idea
was
of
so
fun.
like questionable.
Whoa. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, bye.
For listening. Until next time, the podcast, a show so sublime. Marissa, Mooney, Joseph, and Ryan signing off with glee. Join us next episode for more sequel revelry.